All right, well, welcome to our next episode of Unlocking Vertex AI. Thanks for joining us. We're going to jump into some of the new announcements from Google that came out in the last couple of weeks around Gemini Enterprise. And to kind of talk through that, I have with me Brian Stavis, who's going to kind of help guide us through some of these new exciting announcements. So, Brian, if you don't mind, introduce yourself and we can jump into this conversation.
Yeah, Caleb, appreciate the opportunity. I always appreciate the partnership with T-Tech. So I'm Brian Stavis. I currently am leading our partner strategy across our applied AI product portfolio. I'll be teasing out a lot of the new products and a lot of the new announcements that we introduced at NRF today. But pleasure to be here and excited to dive into the details.
Awesome, man. Now, we're really glad you're here. So let's get into it. So Google made an announcement around what I believe is Gemini Enterprise for Customer Experience, GECX. So if you can break down a little bit for us of what all is in that, what's new, what does it mean?
Yeah, so for those that did not see it or hear it, at NRF, or the National Retail Federation, about a week ago, Alphabet as a whole launched a slew of updates or announcements, right? We launched some stuff with Wing and our drone delivery with Walmart. The Google Ads and Commerce team launched the Universal Commerce Protocol, which is an open standard built with top retailers to enable agentic commerce, right?
That's cool.
Breaking down some of the data silos, establishing a common language from merchants, AI agents, and commerce platforms. And so that was co-developed with Shopify, Target, Walmart, Best Buy, several others, right? And so everyone is familiar with contact center AI or CCAI. Some of you might be familiar with our customer engagement suite or CES. And so what we launched at NRF is an evolution of that platform in the new agentic world, if you want to call it. So we finally unveiled Gemini Enterprise for Customer Experience, which has four main components. There's the shopping agent, which we'll get into, the food ordering agent, Vertex AI search, which most folks will probably know as it is today. And then we launched Customer Experience Agent Studio. And so all of that is under the same umbrella, and CX Agent Studio is really that leap that Google has made as it pertains to the contact center customer service experience.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's a lot there. So it sounds like it's an expansion of CES, which we were very familiar with, like Customer Engagement Suite. We've been working with customers for the last couple of years around this, whether it was Google CCAS or Agent Assist, Insights, even like Dialogflow and Playbooks, right?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming a lot of this is carried over into GECX, and it gets kind of wrapped into this new, Customer Experience Agent Studio.
Yeah. So look, it's the new platform, the new console really makes it easy to rapidly build, evaluate, and deploy personalized conversational agents in days. No longer, it doesn't take weeks or months anymore. What's nice about it is it's a visual low-code interface, so you don't necessarily have to be a forward deployed engineer or a Python code expert. It has a collection of pre-built agents that allow you, a customer, to see the time to value much more efficiently or effectively today than the existing Dialogflow or Playbooks offering. We can get into multimodality, really allowing for more authentic, genuine engagement between a user, individual user who's on the phone or using chat, dealing with an agent, and not having to deal with some of those more antiquated or legacy contact center experiences. And so CX Agent Studio has certainly been that leap, leveraging a lot of the expertise from Google DeepMind, Gemini, to bolster the existing conversational agent offering. Now, Agent Assist, to your point, has also made significant updates. We have updates for AI Coach, AI Trainer, and then the last piece of that puzzle is part of CX, or Customer Experience Insights, which is formerly Conversational Insights, which has a new discovery engine. Quality AI has gotten some improvements. And as we look at pre-built metrics and semantic similarity and sentiment analysis, there is certainly some significant investments that we've made to really have that complete offering and no longer some of the pain points that we've seen and heard from our customers and partners alike.
Oh, I think that's all good news. I have several things I want to dig into on that. You've got lots of questions in my mind. So, I think as Google has definitely innovated in this customer experience space over the last couple of years with new offerings, and I'll call them new AI services that have come into play, it definitely at time felt like they were, I'm not gonna say disconnected, but they were standalone services, right?
Sure.
Like, but still the data pipe was there. You could get conversations from a virtual agent into insights and be able to analyze the conversation.
Yep.
It sounds like this is really trying to bring the whole thing together to be much more of a cohesive, almost a SaaS type product that customers will have access to.
Yeah. So to your point on completion, right? That enterprise grade or scale of having that full stack solution, not necessarily being a point solution. And you could talk about it, right? Plenty of offerings in the space may be able to service a component for a client or brand across every single industry or use case. And I say that because like the NRF announcement was wonderful for retail CPG brands, but this CX Agent Studio can be extrapolated out across every single industry vertical, customer segment, or region of the world. And so going back to my point on that complete solution, very few players in the space can offer a complete solution across web, chat, mobile, commerce, search, really supporting that end-to-end customer journey, delighting customers at every single customer touch point. And so when you look at that from a commerce, search, and now contact center customer service perspective, we have that complete offering that allows you to build rapidly, launch new agents rapidly, connect into your entire ecosystem, whether or not it's an existing WebRTC, SIP, telephony provider, or third-party tooling. So you can build it, you can connect it. Now, how do you engage and delight every single customer? So we bolstered the chat 2.0, our audio capabilities. And last piece of that puzzle is optimization. So how do you deliver these continuous feedback loops to really, help the brands that you're working with understand signals, understand how agents are performing, how your human agents are performing in real time, and having that telemetry, those rich insights that, to some extent we're missing. And so that's really what we're trying to do, is build, connect, engage, and optimize in a more holistic way.
Okay, no, that makes sense. So you touched on multimodal for a second, or you hinted at it, and the shopping agent. And as we've done a little bit of, or I've done a little bit of research just as we've gotten access to the products and we start kind of digging into some of the capabilities. I kind of go back to I think what's famously known as the garden demo from Next last year, right? And everybody loved this idea. It brings in agentic capabilities, the ability for a conversational agent to interact with somebody in the contact center to actually get approvals on things. And so, I'd love to get your thoughts on where this is going, because I feel like we're kind of crossing this bridge of most conversational agents today, at least the ones that I see, are very focused on containing support conversations that are typically coming into a customer or to a company. Very few companies, I think, have really evolved that into being proactive on next best action type things, recommendation engines, help, having a lot of the personalized context of what someone might be wanting to do. So anything that you can kind of share around that, or your thoughts would be great.
So the guidance that I continue to say to every single brand and customer, and this goes, like I said, across every single industry, is to audit the friction in your handoffs. And what I mean by that is look at the moments where your customer moves from a website to an app or a digital search to a support call, right? That is usually where loyalty or customer retention goes to die. Right, that handoff that can make or break if a customer cart abandonment leaves the platform, right? And so you don't necessarily have to boil the ocean, because Gemini Enterprise for customer experience is absolutely modular. And so you can start by deploying a single agent, like a shopping agent for discovery, or a service agent for post-purchase, right? And focus on making that handoff invisible. Make that so fluid that when a customer calls in, they know what you're looking at on the site, right? They know that, your past order history, you just bought a couch and now you need pillows, like, or whatever it is, right? Like they know that complementary step so that it's a fluid, seamless, personalized transaction. And that is a future, belongs to those types of brands that value their customers' time as much as their own products. And that would be like, as you look at the handoffs, I think that is so invaluable to see where Gemini Enterprise for customer experience can create significant value.
Now, I really like where you're going with that, because I think a lot of companies still, when they look at the capabilities of Gemini, you pick which version of it you want. It's really about like how fast it can interpret conversation, how well it can identify intent. But this idea of it understands the complementary nature of what you're looking at, what you've done, and can make recommendations against things. Yep. That's absolutely untapped at the moment. And it seems like it's such an easy add-on potentially to how people are already using conversational agents.
Oh, and as you know, like in the past, like it was great to have a functioning mobile app or basic chatbot that could deflect calls. Great.
Right.
But like that's no longer table stakes. Customers expect that unified journey. They don't see shopping and customer service as two different departments.
Right.
And they see this as one relationship with the brand. So you need these context-aware engagements. If, at the end of the day, technology is no longer that helper. It's an intelligent layer that connects every touch point, so the customer never has to repeat themselves over and over. As we've both been on calls, you have to provide your order number, like your tracking number, whatever, and agents are providing these very basic or rudimentary responses. And so the goal of every user interaction or touch point, brands should use that as an opportunity to engage, differentiate, and drive that brand loyalty across every single industry across the board.
Yeah, no, that's great. All right, so I'm gonna switch directions for a second then. So, over the last, let's say 18 months, I mean, obviously AI is changing so fast, so rapidly. There's new products coming out to market constantly. I think even Google has experienced some of this with new releases of capabilities. So when I think about the customers, that we've worked on, the ones that are out in the market today, where they've leveraged some of Google's stack, whether it's some version of Dialogflow or Customer Engagement Suite, you've got the new capabilities now with GECX. Kind of like what's the pathway for them to get to the new stuff so they can start taking advantage of it? But obviously that's where we're going to have people watching this are going to have the question of course, hey, how do I get there?
I was really hoping we didn't talk about this in the pre-show, but so look, and I'm still getting used to the GECX, right? Every time people say it, I'm like, all right. But anyway, so we want this to be a seamless transition, right? We want to make sure that this is a frictionless, and at the end of the day, customers have choice. If they're very happy with Dialogflow, stay on Dialogflow. For those stateful, deterministic use cases, fine. Sure. But as customers are seeking the more generative first capabilities that we have seen and we've announced with Gemini Enterprise for customer experience, that is where we want this to be. We're going to be introducing migration playbooks. We're going to be introducing tooling so that you could take a flow or a playbook and move that over to the new experience, CX Agent Studio. Perfect. In a seamless manner. And I'll kind of double down there, is from a time to value perspective, we will be introducing 35 pre-built agents and templates so that customers can see the time to value immediately. One of my favorite features and functionality on the new, and you got me excited about the new platform, new console, but with the new console and experience, you can essentially take a batch of call transcripts or call logs, upload that into the system, and you don't have to develop any code. It will design an agent and a flow for you immediately based on the call transcript, based on the call information. So all of that to say, again, tying a bow on that, from a migration perspective, from Dialogflow or Playbooks, we will be introducing tooling and playbooks to make it a lot more seamless to make that move. We're also evaluating what are the incentives that we can introduce to make sure that this is cost neutral or even cost beneficial for a customer to make that move over to the new console, the new CX Agent Studio. So all of that is that piece is under evaluation, but the tooling is coming to market or coming to be available in the next few weeks.
Okay, well, look, that's great. I think you guys have clearly thought about this. There's a plan behind it. That's what's exciting. Anything like you got something brand new like this that's coming to market, and I've seen some of the features within the new console, the new Agent Studio, the things that I see where people are getting really excited. It's definitely around the super low latency voice side of things,
Yep.
right? I mean, I think it's a game changer, honestly. Like this has been, to me, this is one of the sticking points with voice conversational agents over the years. You get pushback or low adoption at times because it can be challenging. There's background noise, whatever, and the conversational agent is interrupting or it disconnects or whatever that is, right?
Yep.
This whole capability now, I think it really does make it a much more natural experience. It has the potential to drive adoption, which just causes people to have a better ROI on deploying these types of things.
And that's where I would like to tip my hat to the Google DeepMind team, right? Our applied AI product team worked hand in hand with DeepMind on supporting the new audio to audio capabilities, which supports 10 different languages. And one of my favorite like demos that I've seen from one of our engineers was when we showcased like a gentleman speaking in an English or he was speaking English but in an Australian accent, and so he was engaging, and then midway through he decides to speak in a different language, and I think he was speaking Mandarin at the time, and so the agent seamlessly picks up. He doesn't have to say I'm going to speak in Mandarin. The agent picks it up, starts speaking back in Mandarin, flips back to English, and again, individual picks it up and the agent picks up and starts speaking in English back to the individual user. And so that shows the art of the possible, being able to have these authentic, natural dialogue with an individual user, and maintaining that brand voice, that brand tone, that brand identity, and not creating this friction. It should be creating this frictionless experience with each individual user.
Wow, that's really cool. I think that's only going to simplify things and make it easier. Definitely from a development standpoint, this idea of not having to maintain multiple conversational agents, excuse me, being able to leverage that from multiple languages, that's really good. So if I think about, again, a lot of changes in the market, new capabilities, new consoles, new studios, where Google's going, over, let's say the next year. I don't know if anybody can project out 2 years, right? But if I think about like people are going to start building on this new platform, and so they're going to make let's call it a system decision. They're making an investment in the platform. But one of the things that I hear from customers, the feedback is, hey, we want to invest and build with this, but we want to know that what we're going to build, we're going to be able to leverage for the next several years.
Yeah.
Right. So any kind of thoughts you have around that, just of, I'm not even call stability, but just kind of the future-proof nature of the platform?
So I'll say purely from like an investment perspective, right? There's a reason why Alphabet CEO made the announcement. Thomas Kurian, Google Cloud CEO, makes the announcement. That shows Google and Alphabet's weight behind this as a solution, as an offering, right?
Sure.
It's massive opportunity for not just Google, but obviously Alphabet. And so that was just like from a personal like milestone or accomplishment perspective. I was so proud to be on this team, because you see the amount of visibility, the amount of investment that we're making into this overarching platform and console and experience. And Google's not new in the contact center space, as you know all too well.
Yeah.
Been doing it since 2017. And now this was the big leap, big investment that Google's making. So that's just number one. From an investment visibility perspective, this is one of the top priorities across Google Cloud. Now, when you look at future proofing and continuing to double, triple down on the platform, there's a reason why we're working in partnership with DeepMind, where we have significant resourcing from new engineering, new product resourcing, to make sure that the capabilities, the features, the functionality are continuing to, like, if you saw our product roadmap for 2026, it's aggressive. And so all of the features and functionality that I've been talking to you about, while they're going to be available, as we go GA, the roadmap for the rest of the year is even more aggressive. And we want to continue to move the puck forward, as you were referring to.
Yeah.
As I look at from an investment, from a product roadmap standpoint, this is where Google is going to continue to listen to our customers, to our partners, to make sure that we're iterating and building the right capabilities to deliver the right mutual outcomes for our customers.
That's awesome. Look, I'm excited. This is it's really cool. I've had the chance to play with the product a little bit. I think the new capabilities are going to surprise people, especially from just like you said, the time to value, the speed of development. This is only going to get faster. Now you've got AI building AI agents, which is even more exciting, right? And so I think this idea of how people have been converting from some of these legacy technologies into the new world, leveraging Gen AI, it's only going to become more easy. So, Brian, thank you for taking time. It's been an education. I really appreciate you kind of going behind the scenes a little bit on what's happening. This is really cool. And so I'm sure there'll be more to come, and hopefully we can have you back soon. So
awesome. It's always a pleasure, Caleb. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.